Should I run on a treadmill or should I run outdoors? Well,
and that's why low-key I don't really rate it when someone gets a fast treadmill time. It's 1 to 2 minutes faster probably than actually running outside and doing the real thing. What's going on YouTube, it's Jason and welcome to Setting Pace. We have an exciting update on the 5K time. This week our time was 25:14, which is over a minute down from last week. The plan and hope in February is to get that time under 25. 24 point anything and I will be over the moon. In this video, I'm going to be comparing treadmill running to outdoor running. I'm going to compare the pros and cons of both according to science. And at the end of this video, hopefully you can make a decision for yourself.
so let's kick off with our treadmill runs. What are the benefits? Well, the first benefit, and probably the main benefit, is that you can control your pace. When you're new to running and you go for, say, an interval run, it's very difficult to dictate and guarantee that you are going to run the same splits every single time. And to be honest, you need that consistency to improve. For example, earlier on, I did a 1 kilometer interval run. I did 5 of them. You can see my time is as quick as like 4:30 something and as slow as like 4:50 something. And that's because of temperature, changing gradients, people, etc. It's very difficult to, again, control your pace. On the treadmill, you press one button and you can almost guarantee how fast you run each and every time. Next benefit of running on the treadmill is that it is better for your joints. At least that's the thinking anyway. Because the ground is softer, it's cushioned and it has shock absorbers, if you have an injury, for example, it can be better for that versus running outside where your feet is pounding the pavement and concrete can be harsh on the joints. So in terms of drawbacks of using the treadmill, there are a few. One of the main drawbacks that people often overlook is that yes, it is better for your joints. Well, it can be, I guess, easier on the joints. But the other side of the coin is that because you are running the same way, in the same motion, not having any different terrains like you do outdoors, it can actually be quite bad for injuries. Like if you've got a stress fracture, you've pulled your Achilles or bad knees, and you are constantly running the same way in the same motion repeatedly, you're more likely to get repetitive strain. And the second drawback with the treadmill is that your muscles can become deconditioned because, as I mentioned, you're running in the same plane, the same way every single time. You're not dodging traffic, you're not dodging people or going up and down pavements. Your muscles in terms of like your calves, your glutes and your hamstrings can actually become weaker versus running outside.
The third drawback with treadmill running is that you shorten your stride. When you run outside, you have what's called a natural gait. This is the way that you would naturally run. Everyone's is going to be different. However, when you run on a treadmill, because the belt is only so long, you adapt your stride to a way that you wouldn't run normally. And this means that if you have an existing injury, runner's knee, stress fractures, or sore Achilles, for example, these injuries could end up being aggravated.
So moving on to running outdoors, benefit number 1 is muscle activation. It goes without saying, but because you haven't got a treadmill propelling you and pushing you forward, you use a lot more of your muscles to actually run. Like you actually have to put in the work. And so your posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves work a lot harder. And because of that, you burn a lot more calories.
And that's why low-key I don't really rate it when someone gets a fast treadmill time. I see people post on social media, look at my 5K time, and I'm like, yeah, they're fair, but it's 1 to 2 minutes faster probably than actually running outside and doing the real thing. Second benefit of running outdoors is that you're outdoors, right? If you look at the mental health benefits, oxygen, sunlight, seeing different things, change of scenery, change of environment, all of those things happen outdoors. When you're running indoors on a treadmill, you lose all of that. You may get some of the runner's high, but studies show that it's much greater in terms of energy boost and brain function when you run outdoors.
Benefit number 3 of running outdoors is that your bones get stronger. A study done by the University of Missouri shows this. And it's simply because your body will adapt to any stimulus that you place on it. So if you run repeatedly on the concrete, okay, yes, it may be painful every now and again, you may get niggles, But over time, you will develop more bone mass than someone who runs on a cushioned surface. So yes, if you want to have a break every now and again to relieve your body, go on the treadmill. But if you're looking to build a strong, robust frame, get outside and run.
So when it comes to running outdoors, obviously it's not all sunshine and roses. There are some drawbacks. Drawback number one is the injury risk. We can't get away from it. You're running on concrete, you're running on uneven surfaces, going up pavements. The risk of doing things like rolling your ankle become a lot higher. Drawback number two is the weather. Being out here in Dubai, the weather can get so hot. Running outside in hot temperatures can affect your performance. And if I think back to being in the UK, the weather can be miserable. It's raining, it's snowing. If you're like me and you are a fair weather runner, then the weather can actually screw up your running routine and mean that you don't get out as consistently. That's one of the benefits of running on a treadmill. It's that you can produce that consistency because the conditions are the same each and every time. Drawback number three is recovery. You might find that if you do all your sessions outdoors, because the surfaces are harder, it may take you longer to recover.
So finishing up on the self-powered treadmill. Should I run on a treadmill or should I run outdoors? Well, when you look at the evidence, part of it is down to preference, but I'd say if you're looking to take running seriously and you're looking to build a strong, robust body, strong bones, conditioned muscles, then all the evidence leans more towards outdoor running. You know, you get more condition, posterior chain, legs, glutes, hamstrings. And if you're looking to do a race, for example, you can actually replicate real life outdoors, right? You can't do that on a treadmill. What I would say is that if you are running solely to improve your cardiovascular fitness and you're not really that interested in times or replicating race conditions, then treadmill is absolutely fine. For best results, maybe even combine the two. But in my situation, me trying to improve my 5K time, I'm definitely going to do as much running outdoors as possible. I mentioned at the beginning that I've got a bit of a dodgy Achilles and I've got flat feet as well. And I find the more I run on treadmills, the more I aggravate that Achilles injury. So in order to get my body conditioned, robust, and ready to face the demands of my environment, I will be running outdoors. So yeah, that is everything. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to like it if you did. Subscribe to my channel to follow me on this journey, and I'll see you again soon.